This is Fox 9 News at 6.
Well, tonight, a jury finds the ringleader of the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme guilty on all counts.
Amy Bach and Salim Saeed faced a total of 28 counts during the 5-week trial. Fox 9's Rob Olson has been following the trial all week and then some. He joins us now outside the federal courthouse in Minneapolis. Details on the guilty verdicts. Rob?
Yeah, very long trial, very short deliberation. The first witnesses took the stand in this trial back on February 10th. The jury began deliberating at 9 a.m. this morning. We got the word at 2 p.m. that they had reached verdicts, and there were a lot of counts that they had to consider. But to prosecutors, they believe this shows how overwhelming their case was.
Hopefully, today's verdict will help turn the page on this awful chapter in our state's history.
The very quick verdicts against Amy Bach and Salim Saeed come after a nearly 6-week trial. The jury saw hundreds of pages of documents, false meal claims, fake invoices, million-dollar checks, testimony from some of the 37 people who've already pled guilty. For prosecutors, the evidence was overwhelming. They say that Amy Bach knew. She submitted every false claim, wrote every check of the nearly $250 million in fraud. I asked them what they thought resonated the most.
I think you'd have to ask the jury that, but obviously in any case where the defendant testifies, that's a key part of it, and both defendants testified at length, and clearly the jury didn't find them credible and didn't believe their stories.
Bach testified for more than 3 days and had answers for everything, as prosecutors noted, but often conflicted with other witnesses and laid blame on everybody else. Bach's attorney sees it differently.
Amy's testimony was compelling. She answered all the questions that could have been answered.
He said he's shocked that she's now being detained until sentencing since she has no passport and no money, living with her parents. He was asked if she may express remorse at sentencing.
If there's any remorse, it's because of her children. For her to admit anything, I will go to my grave knowing, because I've reviewed the evidence, this is an innocent woman.
Salim Saeed is also now in custody, convicted of far more counts than Bach and described as one of the largest perpetrators of fraud. Nearly 30 defendants still await trial, but these quick verdicts just might bring more plea deals, prosecutors say.
That's up to them, but I would imagine that the quick verdict will probably not go unnoticed by the remaining defendants in this case.
Now, sentencing has not yet been set in this. As for questions about just how many years that Saeed and Bach could receive, it's hard to say at this point, but here are some comparisons for you. One of the people that was convicted last year at the first Feeding Our Future trial was convicted of 4 counts and received 17 years in prison. Now, contrast to that, Amy Bach's convicted on 7 and Salim Saeed on 21 counts, so far more than that. In contrast to that, somebody who pled guilty last month took a plea deal, pleading guilty to simply 1 count of wire fraud, got 3.5 years in prison. So a vast separation there between the prison time. Live in Minneapolis, Rob Olson, Fox 9.
All right, Rob, thank you. A state senator arrested